All right, it's time for me to face the music. Here are some of my older Galaxy images. As you can see, they're not great, are they? Lack of detail, washed out colours, and overall, they just don't capture the true beauty of these galaxies that I was looking for. The main issues I've been facing are limited resolution, poor colour accuracy, and noise. These problems stem from a combination of factors, including the equipment I used. Some of the images were taken several years ago, the atmospheric conditions, and my processing techniques. And it's in particular the last one that I'm going to be focusing on. In my recent video all about curve stretching, I showed you a number of new techniques and software we can use to vary the kind of curve stretching that we do. And in particular, this is really going to help us process these galaxies. But don't worry, this isn't a pity party. It's a starting point. Recognizing these issues is the first step towards improvement. The more exposures you take, the more signal you gather, and the better your final image and signal to noise ratio will be. So therefore, in some of my best Galaxy images, for example, recently I took images of the M100 Galaxy, and I took over 174 separate 5-minute exposures. I may also take calibration frames such as dark frames and flat frames. Dark frames, though, I found not to be so important with my current camera because the noise is so low. So sometimes I don't bother with dark frames. But if you do have noise in your images, and especially with DSLRs, you should always take dark frames. Flat frames correct for vignetting and dust spots in your optics. And so flat frames really can make your images a lot cleaner and looking much more professional. Proper guiding is vital. I use a guide scope and camera to keep the telescope pointed accurately at the target, even as the Earth rotates. Without auto-guiding, your stars may appear like little egg-shaped blobs or slightly stretched out instead of nice pinpoint dots. And your image really will not look so great. In the beginning of my astrophotography journey, I actually used an Alt-Az mount with the Celestron 130 SLT, and the quality of my galaxies and images left a lot to be desired. Processing techniques. Now for the magic. Image processing is where the real transformation happens. I use Siril to stack, calibrate, and enhance my images. The first step is to stack all the individual exposures together. This combines the signal from each frame and reduces noise. Next, I apply calibration frames to remove noise and artifacts. Actually, because I'm using a very low noise camera, I don't normally bother with dark frames, and I don't think this is a problem. But flat frames are a good idea and can correct for dust mites and any imperfections in your optics. Now comes the fun part, stretching the image to reveal faint details. As I discussed in my curve stretch video last week, this involves adjusting the brightness and contrast of the image to bring out the subtle features of the galaxy. I also use color calibration techniques to ensure that the colors in the image are accurate. This involves using a color calibration tool to adjust the red, green, and blue channels. And finally, I apply sharpening and noise reduction techniques to enhance the details further and reduce noise. But be careful not to overdo it, as this can introduce a lot of artifacts into your images. This shows a workflow snapshot. In other words, you can see the steps at each stage of my Galaxy processing workflow. The first step is the linear image. Then we create a stars only image in Siril. Next, we carry out a statistical stretch on the starless image that was just generated. We carry out statistical stretch in Seti Astro suite. Step 4 is globalized hyperbolic stretch, which we do in Siril. When we're happy with that, we move to the 5th step and we go to Photoshop, where we adjust color balance. And the final step is adding stars back into the image and running cosmic clarity in Seti Astro suite. So now we've had a look at my workflow. Let's take a look at the results. After applying all these different techniques, I was able to capture much more detail and color in my Galaxy images. The stars are sharper, the dust lanes are more defined, and the overall image is much more pleasing to the eye. Here are a few tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. First, always shoot in RAW format. Usually the stacked image is a FITS file, but you can also work with TIFF files. This gives you the most flexibility when processing your images. Secondly, don't be afraid to experiment with different workflows and processing techniques. There's no one-size-fits-all approach that works. And third, I advise you to always do whatever you can to keep learning. I know that I don't consider myself an expert. There's still tons of great resources and material that could help me improve my workflow. A major thing that I've learned recently is to be patient and go slowly. Astrophotography takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if you don't get great results right away. Just keep practicing and learning, and you'll eventually get there. And when you do go through the processing, make sure you do it slowly, bit by bit. Take your time and try to get the best you can out of the data you have. And finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. This is something that I'm doing all the time, and I really enjoy commenting, and I really enjoy posting on cloudynights.com. That's just one of many forums which I find really supportive and really helpful. But there are tons of experienced astrophotographers out there who are willing to share their knowledge and expertise. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you. I'd love to know what your favorite galaxies are to image. Let me know in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.